Okay, woo.
Woo! We're back.
Welcome. This week we have some exciting news for Orbiton. We've got the Investor OS platform that's going to be going live. And then we wanted to hit some topics on how VCs are changing their due diligence with AI.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to these. I think maybe we'll tackle the first one, or the second one first, and then we'll go on to the first point. I think what's really cool is you sent me some articles throughout the week about how some VCs are taking drastic approaches to
Mhm.
implementing AI agents to their due diligence, which by the way, all the
Yeah,
focus is on top of funnel. It's
yeah,
like you can't they even say you can't really measure the founder's personality or mental state, but like top of funnel, do they meet our criteria? Going
hmm
through that, they used to have associates who would go through all these emails. And so what was it, what did they say, like they fired like a lot of people? How many people?
everyone. Whereas,
Everyone? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I think so. It was what? It was DVS, DVC.
yeah,
The DVC fund fired
yes,
all their associates and replaced them with
yeah,
AI.
yeah. They're launching a 75 million fund for Series A and B AI startups. And also, we're pretty proud, it looks like, to say they fired all their analysts,
Yeah,
which is
but
like, it's
but
cool and bad, but it's cool.
it's interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting. So here's my thing about it. Here's the reason I find it interesting is because it's true a lot of the work that the analysts were doing were mundane and repetitive, and I
hmm
feel like on the other end when I was reaching out to VCs, I would reach out to analysts, and then sometimes they wouldn't get back to me for a month. Sometimes they wouldn't have like domain knowledge, or
hmm
sometimes they would get back to me and then I had the meeting and then they'd say, "Oh, actually, you're not a fit." And I'm like, "Well, you couldn't tell
Yeah.
that from the first email." So hopefully that
Yeah,
reduces
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
But I I'm curious on how much of the work was unseen on what the analysts actually did. Like how much of it
Yeah.
is assumed by management that
hmm
is covered by AI agents, but
Yes.
how much they didn't actually see of what they were doing.
Yeah. Similar to IR, as we build software for IR, we're not replacing those people.
No.
We're replacing the mundane work. And I do wonder if a if a VC like firm like this fires everyone,
Hmm.
and they're like, oh yeah, what was it? 537 times faster than a human VC analyst. An LLM can categorize deals, which yes, that's not shocking. But I
Yeah.
wonder if there is some like missed points of like the human connection. How much of investor behavior is really like just the facts, or are you missing a key part of like humanizing it? And yeah, I think it's interesting to see if they regret that decision.
Well, to your point, like it's something that we battle with every day when we talk
hmm
to people. They're like, "Oh, well, like I still want to talk to my shareholders," and we say, "You can.
Yeah.
These are people that otherwise wouldn't have reached out to you. It's a
Yes.
different use case." And so I think them then seeing the very like tech forward like San Francisco VC style where it's like we're going to cut all our people, we're only going to
hmm
use AI,
Yeah.
versus when I'm talking to these IR professionals and they're like, "Yeah, we want to like talk to them on the phone." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's just
Yeah.
such a drastic difference. But again, these are investors who are looking to places to put their capital.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe the
And
companies should have the chatbot to help quickly, so investors can quickly research, or maybe they need like an agent that quickly inputs materials in and automates that process for the
exactly.
founder.
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, for IROs like that still want to talk, like absolutely still talk on the phone, still talk to people, still do that. But I think that AI and softwares like Orbiton or whatever this VC firm is using,
Hmm.
um, you're capturing information, or in Orbiton's sense, you're capturing investors that wouldn't be there. That
Hmm.
people like investor behavior has changed drastically and continues to change and will be even crazier in 2026. And they those are people that are clicking and clicking right off if they don't find the exact information right then. So you're missing out on that.
Yeah.
You still have the ability to do your regular IR systems and talking to people, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating to see like how IR evolves as the market cap changes.
Hmm.
Like there, in no other vertical of the company, as the company gets bigger, does the focus move away from growth. Like sales and marketing always grow more, sell more, market more.
Hmm.
But it's interesting to see, like I've been talking to some mega caps and sometimes they're just like, yeah, no, we're good. Like we don't really
Hmm.
care if we grow. And it's
Yeah.
fascinating for me to see there are some people who have their stomach full
Hmm.
and they're
Hmm.
okay being stagnant. And then
Yeah.
there is another side to it, which is like institutions like can come in and buy like 100 million bucks worth of shares, so that'll move the market. But Joe Blow buying 100,000 bucks worth, that won't really move a $2 trillion stock.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
do get that.
Like Apple having two people in IR, I don't think that they necessarily care about the individual retail investor
Yeah, but
that's putting in $100.
here's my confusion about it, Mariah. This is the thing
Yeah.
that I don't fully understand.
Yeah.
And if there are people in the comments who could explain this, I am more than happy to hear the reasoning.
Hmm.
Apple does, how much revenue did Apple do last year? Apple gross sales 2024. So Apple did approximately 391 billion. Okay.
Measly.
$391 billion. If I go into the Apple store,
Yeah.
there is still a person there to help me.
Yeah.
If I go on their website, there's still a chat support system to help me.
Yeah.
And so I don't fully understand why investors are an exemption from customer service. Why
Yeah.
is there so much customer service for consumers and
Hmm.
businesses and of all sides to buy the product, but to invest in the stock, there isn't? I don't know. What do you think? Like
Hmm.
this is something that's
I
really got
I
me stuck.
it does feel like there is, and I don't know, there does seem like just a huge massive difference between a tech company that is like making products. Their goal is for everyone to have an iPhone or everyone to have a MacBook or whatever, whereas I think we are used to working with resource mining companies that do care and do have customer service and do have like put so much emphasis on investor relations. That's what they care about, and they yeah, they care deeply about that.
Hmm.
um and I do wonder if, like, maybe it's a small percentage that Apple would be of just small retail investors.
Oh, like what's Apple's retail ownership? That's a good question.
Yeah.
37 to 40% apparently. And so
Yeah. It says 37 to 50% with institutions holding the majority. 60. Yeah, but that's not, yeah, that's a majority, but that's still massive. What?
that's yeah, so that's like that's a very high. Like Dolly Varden, for reference, has like maybe a 15%, 10 to 15% retail ownership.
Hmm.
So you're telling me Apple has, now for context, we haven't met with Apple. I don't actually know if this is true, and they are not. I don't know if they do, you know, give
Yeah.
fantastic service to retail investors. I just know I've tried to get in touch with the IR team, and it is hard for me to get in touch with the IR team. So I can imagine how difficult it is for a regular investor to do
Yeah.
that. But I don't know why. Like, I mean, isn't the goal of investor relations to get everybody in the world who can hold your stock to hold your stock?
Yeah.
Is that not like the purpose? So I'm really
Yeah.
fascinated by the mindset. And, part of it might be, like, to be fair, maybe part of it is because in the past, ownership through retail has come through brokers.
Hmm.
Brokers are compensated for by percentages on the money that they get into different companies. And so brokers are essentially like your sales network. Like if you think about like Apple computers, brokers are like the people at Apple being like, "Hey, can I help you with an iPad or iPhone or
Hmm.
MacBook?" Or so maybe it's because historically everything's been managed by brokers. Only in the past 5 years has it actually really mattered that
Mm-hmm.
retail, like that you have to actually talk, like manage retail, because
Yeah.
retail is on their own. But even now that they're on their own, there's all these other tools like Robinhood, maybe I guess should be the middleman in essence of that. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just super curious on like even like from a customer support standpoint,
Yeah.
like
I mean, if something goes wrong with my iPhone, I can contact Apple support within seconds.
yeah, phone, text, email,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. I just searched and the first things that come up in the little the point about how like we were looking up stats for how many investors use AI. It says 64%.
Yeah.
And it could be 100% because
Yeah.
when you Google anything, it's going to come up with an AI overview. But anyways,
Yeah, so technically you're using everybody's using AI and every investor
yeah.
always Google searches as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. Maybe
Yeah.
some crazy person uses Bing, but
But it does come up immediately that Apple has faced criticism for limited transparency, and their approach is basically that they want to be secretive and that they want to seem like they don't care because brand strength. Apple's brand is so powerful that it does not need to advertise as heavily as rivals. Much of its marketing is done by consumers using its highly visible products, giving it a strong market position even with less than perfect investor communication.
so they get their audience through their consumers. So their consumer
Yeah.
marketing is their investor marketing in essence is what it's saying. But I still find it like what if I'm an investor and I just want to know some
Yeah.
details on your financials?
Yeah.
I guess I would have to ask my broker. That's why you have the financial advisor. But it's so interesting because you can see like right in front of us we can
Yeah.
see the dynamic and the shift in the market happening, and we
Hmm.
can see once again this sector lagging. Like when websites first came about, why do we need an
Hmm.
investor relations website? Now everybody has one.
Yeah.
Social media. Why do we need to post on social media? Now everybody
Yeah.
posts on social media. And it's like the same thing now with AI. So I think, I don't know, we'll
Yeah.
see how it evolves, but it's something that I'm just like, the more I'm learning about it, the more I'm like, either I'm crazy and what
No.
I'm saying is absurd.
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, a lot, pretty often. But in this case,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not crazy to think that you should care about your investors because
Yeah.
like you said, we work mainly in resources. That's where we grew.
Hmm.
And the resource sector has been in a severe bear market. And so they've been
Hmm.
working very hard over the past,
Hmm.
not this, like this year was a good bull market, but before that, for
Hmm.
like 8 years, they're working very hard to get every single investor they could to see their company because
Hmm.
people wouldn't just flock towards it. So,
Yeah.
maybe that's actually something that mining honestly is ahead of other
Yeah.
verticals and
Yeah.
to
Yeah. And
give them some
they don't have
props.
the, but okay, what I was going to say is that they don't have the advantage of getting any investors through their consumer marketing or
Exactly. There's
whatever
no consumer product.
institutions and big massive investments that will make a difference for the company. But I do think that the general public controls which way the market swings for someone. They're controlling what's said online. They can change people, like it's the same with social media. It can change with an opinion very
Yeah.
easily.
The other thing too is like we kind of we talk about this in the metal space as well, but it's like retail sets the price, institution
Mhm.
stabilizes it. So it's like
Mhm.
if there's retail excitement, you can
Mhm.
do a financing at $1 a share. If there's no retail
Mhm.
excitement, you can do it at 50 cents. But that share price is determined by the retail excitement. And
Yeah.
so it's like the institution sets the bar, like the bottom, because they're like,
Mhm.
I won't sell below $1 because I got in at $1. But how do you
Yeah.
go from $1 to two? That's retail. You got to get more
Yeah.
shareholders.
Well, I mean, imagine if Apple, like, let's say that they had a massive scandal
Hmm.
and something really horrible, or I don't know, announced some terrible financial decision that they were making. And all of their small retail investors that they kind of are openly saying they don't really care about was like, okay, we're getting out.
It would kill the stock. That's 30, 40%. Even if
Yeah.
the institution said, you know what, we trust you and fundamentally we're going to stick by you.
Yeah.
If all the 30-40% of them left, it would
Yeah.
kill the stock.
Yeah. But I guess
Um,
there is I don't know. It is a strategy. There's a similar kind of brand strategy and marketing of like the aloof. We're better than everyone.
we're better, but even Hermès or whatever that's better than
Yeah.
everyone, they still have customer support. If your bag breaks, they will still help you with that. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
Yeah.
once you're a customer,
Yeah.
you are valuable. Like,
Yes.
okay, you don't want to go out there and advertise and be like, "Hey, buy my stock." Fine.
No.
But now that you
Yeah.
have, you know, 40% of
Yeah.
what are they, a $2 trillion market cap?
Hmm.
So it's almost like $1 trillion of people's money.
Yeah. I'm on the Apple Investor Relations website right now. And I mean, Nvidia's is better. This is
Yeah.
just, I guess they have the info there. They're like, here's our reports.
Sorry,
You
they're
don't
at a
get,
$4 trillion market cap, so that's
you
almost
don't,
$2 trillion. My bad.
they're not hiding the fact that they're like, yeah, you don't get to know anymore.
Yeah,
Bye
it's
bye.
I don't know. It's just interesting. And so like so one of the things like when we a lot of our clients have been small mid cap. We represent about $3 billion of market cap value that we work with. And so when we really looked at designing our new investor dashboard and focusing on how can we make this an investor operating system, not just another dashboard that sits there. How can we make it do things for you, not just report? So like here we have the basic functionality of the usage over time. We can see when there's like a spike in visits. You can see the conversations created per day. We even have this new feature where it breaks down by traffic source and you can do UTM tracking so you know where your traffic's coming from. We have also like very in-depth data on where people's locations are. So you can see your 50,793 different locations, 135 different countries, 3,733 cities, US being top. So all this is great insights to pull from and extremely valuable. And so this is our new Investor OS. We can, if you want to see more details on this, happy to, DM us and we'll walk you
Yeah.
through a demo. But really, the functionality behind it is okay, you have all these investors, you need to keep in mind when to follow up, what emails to send them, what news releases to update them on, um, you know, notes to put in, tags to add to them so you know that this person's interested in a private placement. You met them in Zurich and make that essentially justify the price of flying to
Yeah.
Zurich to do that conference.
Yeah.
But the problem has been that typically CRM systems are manual data entry, and data entry takes a lot of time. When I was doing calls, inputting the data and keeping the system up to date took me the same amount of time as doing the calls. Honestly, sometimes even more when you would add in the
Yeah.
time it would take to make reports.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're making it so you can just talk to the system, be like, hey, I met with Mariah. She's very interested in being an investor, and I need to follow up with her next week. Takes in that information into a note, updates the tag, makes them an engaged status investor, creates a follow-up event in your calendar, and drafts an email to send to them with a deck. And because we have access to your press releases and all your filings, they can update them on the recent events in the company in the email as well. We want to build this investor relations assistant. So it's an operating system that public companies and IROs can use to serve their investors. Now, over time, my thesis is that more people are going to be putting time and energy into serving investors. And that is something I've already seen in the past few years of being in the markets. But there's still a massive amount of people, a ton of people that care about their shareholders.
Yeah. And with all of the added data that is so specific to IR, something that IR has been missing for a long time, especially watching mining companies fly to conferences and do a lot of expensive marketing, that it is a lot of guesswork and not a lot of tracking. It's all manual tracking, or it has been for a long time, and there's a little bit of guessing of maybe this worked, maybe this didn't. Now you have real example, like you have real data on exactly what is working for your IR. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be like a key insight, and it's not really at a fault of their own. Like I think the pinnacle
No.
I've seen of being able to keep track of what works and what doesn't work is like with Sean and Frank and them. They're very systematic about it because they've developed
Yeah.
it over time, and now we're
Yeah.
adding another layer onto that. But I think
Yeah.
you're right. Like they didn't really have
No.
the tools for it.
No, and it's simply just that it comes down to human error. We're gonna make assumptions.
Hmm.
There's, you know, we're gonna say we did this huge push for something, and we're gonna hope that that's what caused
Yeah,
our stocks to go up. But
and so
having concrete data to confirm or deny your assumptions can help.
oh, it's huge. It can save you
Yeah,
so much money, so much
yeah,
money. And
yeah,
so like, I think two things that I would leave people with. One is if you think that I'm missing something on why mega caps or large caps should treat all investors of all sizes better, let me know. If you think that
yeah.
there's a really good reason for this and that I'm fundamentally wrong and everybody uses a broker and everybody has somebody to talk to, whatever it is, let me know.
Hmm.
Second thing, if you guys are interested in seeing what we're building here with the Investor OS, feel free to reach out.
Hmm. Send some DMs and let us know your thoughts on what we talked about because today was a lot of a questions episode.
Yeah, yeah, it was very much a good ramble of some of the stuff that's
Yes.
been on my mind this week. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.